Officially recording for YouTube. Okay. We just entered the entertainment district. Fortune telling! Anyone up for some fortune telling? Remember, it's all good fun. We've got a good fortune teller here. Hey there, young miss. How'd you like to visit our store? We have an amazing shamisen player performing today. Today's special is a beautiful shovel from the Northern Sea. You can only find it here. Entertainment District. It is a place even livelier and brighter than Castletown. There are a lot of people in Castletown, but the Entertainment District was a far more active and bustling place. You could hear the voices of the barkers coming from every direction, and so too did people shift and stir, drawn in by their words. Wow! Is there perhaps a festival or something today? The city is so lively. No, nothing in particular. It's always like this here. Yep. What? All the time? The Entertainment District is a neighborhood that Lord Yoshimune created for the townsfolk. Plenty of things can happen in Edo. Lord Yoshimune knew this, so he said the people need a place where they can vent their frustrations and de-stress. Which is why some things that are forbidden in other parts of the city are allowed in the Entertainment District. His lordship is a fan of the arts, so he's quite forgiving about that sort of thing. I've even seen him recommending music to someone before. I see, so that's why everyone seems so happy. What a wonderful place. You know. Speaking of which, do you know Kabuki? No, yes, it's a play performed solely by men, isn't it? Of course, I've never seen it myself, but... So, Kabuki is traditional, for, I guess, Japan, possibly other Asian areas. I do know it's traditional in Japan. All men theater, they do both the women and male roles, and there's specific terms for these roles. Kinji plays an onagata role, the woman's role, and refuses to do any other role. But yes. We'll see it soon enough. Okay, let's go see one now. Huh? Can we do that? I thought Kabuki wasn't something that was performed very often. So, in an entertainment district, it's performed a lot, I guess. Come on now, this is the entertainment district we're talking about. The one Lord Yoshimune directly manages. You'll find a show playing it any day of the week. What? That's not normal, by the way. That's why she is thrown off. Kabuki's kind of special. It's more festive here than I ever imagined. Edo really is amazing. Alright, since we decided on what to do, let's get going. If I remember correctly, the theater should be... over there should have a performance today. I know words. I hate to interrupt, but I have to go do something real quick, and then I will be back as soon as I can. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back. Alright, we've decided what to do. Let's get going. Now, if I remember correctly, the theaters... Okay, yeah, they're having before stay. I already read that. Alright. Tojo walked off in high spirits. Tomonari and I hurriedly made our way through the sea of people to chase after him. Susanoo, make sure you don't get lost.
Right.
Even in a crowd this size, Tojo was a head taller than everyone around him. Thanks to that, we were able to keep following him and avoid getting lost. I kept moving forward, occasionally glancing over at Tomonari, who walked alongside me, then...
Ow.
I crashed into someone walking past me and accidentally dropped the wrapping cloth I was holding on to. Sorry there. Here, you dropped your stuff.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I wasn't looking where I was going.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
What a nice person. I was the one who bumped into him and everything.
What's wrong? Wait, you're... Oh, then I better get going.
Oh, there he goes.
As if in a rush, the man took off immediately. He was in a rush. That being said, with a crowd this size, he wouldn't be able to run very fast. Susanoo, check your belongings.
Huh?
I recognize that man. He may have stolen something from you. At Tomonari's request, I immediately checked the contents of my belongings. When I did, I found that the wallet had been inside the wrapping cloth was no longer there.
No way! The wallet's gone!
I knew it. Sorry it took me so long to notice. Don't worry about the money, and I'll buy you a new wall.
Tomonari, hold my things. I'm gonna go after him.
Susanoo, wait. It's dangerous to go by yourself. I could hear Tomonari trying to stop me, but I wasn't going to do that. That wallet was something that Tojo and Tomonari had given to me as a gift. I wasn't going to let some stranger steal it from me.
Wait, you over there, please stop.
Pushing aside to see if people somehow managed to chase after the thief. Fortunately, he was wearing a color that stood out. There's no way I could lose sight of him.
I'm not going to give up.
Eventually, I realized I'd entered the back streets. This is probably the first time I ever run for this long. My throat was parched and my body felt weak. But even so, I didn't give up the pursuit.
Wait, please!
You stubborn little, just give up already.
So you really did steal from me. Give my wallet back.
Go kick rocks. This is mine now. He proudly proclaimed his victory and sped up even more. It seemed that he still had some energy left. Such a huge difference between our stamina. There's really nothing I could do.
But that wallet is priceless to me. I can't believe this is happening.
The next moment... Ah! To my surprise, the thief tripped over nothing.
Wait, no. That person standing over there tripped him with his leg.
The boy who had helped me noticed I was looking at him and waved at me with a bright smile. It seemed he understood the situation and had lent me a hand. And we got some nerve. Yet the thief still hadn't given up on escape despite swaying on his feet. He started to stand up and... bonk! Ah! Using his hand, the boy had chopped the back of the thief's neck, knocking him out.
What?
Based on how he was lying on the ground, motionless, the thief had completely passed out. Alrighty then. It's probably tucked away in here somewhere. There we go. You're looking for this, weren't you? Without hesitation, the boy started rifling through the thief's pockets and took out a wallet from inside. It was unmistakably mine.
Thank you very much. You're a lifesaver.
The boy handed the wallet to me with a kind-hearted smile. That was quite the ordeal. Here's your wallet. In that moment, the boy's expression froze.
Is something the matter?
Nope. Not at all. Anyway, here, I'll give this back to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
As I replied to him, I accepted the wallet from the boy. As I felt the familiar fabric in my hand, it finally felt real. The wallet had returned to me, safe and sound. So it's only in his bad ending will it be revealed why he stared at her. And I ain't gonna tell you why. He had a moment, and there's a very good reason that he had a moment of shit. But then he's just like, eh.
By the way, is he okay?
The thief was still lying unconscious at our feet. His neck was red, swollen from the karate chop, and his knees were scraped up from falling to the ground. I know he's an awful person, but shouldn't we look after him? No, you don't have to worry about that. He'll heal up real quick.
Huh?
Just like the boy said, the thief's injuries were steadily fading away. However, the thief was surprised, and before long, his skin was back in pristine condition. This is... A normal person could never heal this fast, which means... Is this person perhaps a form folk? That's right! I took a closer look, and there, wrapped around the thief's wrist, was a string with a wooden tag, proof that he was a form folk. Right, form folk are able to heal any wounds in an instant. Though their forms are ethereal, form folk are capable of feeling pain and getting hurt, just like humans. And because they use their powers when healing their injuries, sometimes they end up passing out, just like the thief. But no matter what kind of injury they receive, form folk can never die. A form folk only dies when the tool that they're created from is destroyed. Incidentally, when their tag is broken or a master's memories fade, form folk can no longer maintain their bodies, and they return to their tool form. I often forget because their emotional threads are visible. They look the same as humans, but they're not human at all. Anyway, this guy's a real infamous pickpocket around these parts, so you should be more careful. An infamous pickpocket? You mean he's been doing this kind of thing for a long time? Yeah, there's quite a lot of people without jobs in Edo. The entertainment district's an interesting place, but crimes like this happen all the time. It's probably got the highest crime rate in Edo. By the way, Otoro here has the girliest of the boys' voices. It's not intentionally girly. I think it's supposed to be that he's like a hyper child, although he's definitely older than a child. I see. He's intentionally making his voice sound that way. It'll make more sense in his route, which is a while away, I know. And I'm basically teasing everybody like,
Go get the game. You'll like it. I tried this. I thought it was a wonderful place, but underneath it's really got a lot going on. Now that he mentions it, there are a lot more black threads here compared to Castletown.
If you want to make sure nothing gets stolen, you should keep your valuables close to yourself. So might be a good idea to keep your belongings separate. Maybe hang your wallet from your Netsuki charm like this.
Oh, that sounds convenient.
I noticed there was a dog-shaped Netsuki charm attached to his kimono obi.
No, this is so cute.
Since his wallet was properly tied to it with string, it wouldn't be stolen so easily. After observing that, I once again turned my attention to the boy's face. Wait, what? This boy doesn't have threads. Could he be... Oh yeah, you don't have to talk so formally. We're around the same age, right? Lighten up! I'm Otaro. You? Do you live around here? I haven't seen you around before.
I'm Suzuno. I just arrived in Edo today.
No way! Where are you staying? Let me guess, Castletown?
Wow, so many questions. Usher sure has a lot of energy. If I remember correctly, I think we're staying in Samurai Town. The people who came with me know more details.
Then when I looked around me, I came to my senses.
Where am I? What should I do? I left them behind. Does this mean I'm lost?
You got lost after chasing a pickpocket. You're hilarious.
Stop laughing at me. I'm seriously in trouble here.
Come on. You can't blame me. Anyway, you remember where you came from. I'll do you a favor and take you there.
Really? Thank you. I was definitely near the place that looked like Main Street, but...
Found you. Hey, Suzuno! Shocked when Tominari told me what happened. Just as I was about to explain everything to Otaro, Tominari and Tojo ran up from behind us. When I saw them, I was filled with regret and self-reproach at my own thoughtlessness.
I'm sorry for running off like that.
And because I can't help but see it, I'm going to make everybody else have to see this too. For some reason, whenever Tojo's side profile is turned that way, his left cheek is more than the other, and it looks swollen. I don't know why. I'm sure it was an artistic accident that nobody noticed. Because, see, it's back to normal when he's facing this way. And now you will never unsee it. Well, you're not hurt, so that's good. Just be more careful next time. Why did you chase after him? You could have just bought a new wallet.
No way! That was the one you gave me, and there was money inside of it that Tojo gave me.
I see. So that's what this is about. Thank you for cherishing it so much. After seeing me cradle my precious wallet, it seemed the two of them had been aptly persuaded. But Tominari immediately started staring at Otaro, who was standing next to me. Why is Otaro here?
Huh?
Took you long enough to notice, and that's my line. Since when were you back from your mission? Don't tell me you two are Susanoo's companions. That's right. She's the girl we brought back from the mission. You know all the details, right? So she's the one who...
That reaction, I knew it.
I'd already had my suspicions. The lack of threads, for one. What? Internet? I guess it's supposedly reconnecting. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not sure. Internet's fine. I don't know what's going on with the stream, but the YouTube thing is still going. Okay, reconnection success. Alright, looks like I got the stream back up. I don't know why it dropped. If anything was missed during the stream, it will be in the YouTube upload tomorrow. Anyway, selected threads for one, but I needed confirmation, so I quickly spoke out.
Are you maybe also a member of the Oniwaban?
Bingo! I collect intel in the entertainment district and, well, lots of other stuff. But I never thought you'd be the girl from the mission. You seem super normal. You really have some mysterious power. Boy.
Yes, in a way.
I guess you can't judge a book by its cover. There's casual reaction with a breath of fresh air.
That's the first time anyone's called me normal.
Alright, let's get a move on. We're going to watch some kabuki. You want to come with us? Kabuki? Ah, yeah, sounds awesome. I haven't seen one in a while. Before we go, we should do something about him. Dominari muttered, as if it was a second thought while pointing at the thief, who was still laying face down on the ground. And then a quarter bell hour later, I will bring this one up. So that's 30 minutes. A quarter bell hour, which doesn't make sense to me, is 30 minutes. Just go with it. It's mentioned a few times throughout, but not often enough for it to really make any sense. Just remember it for the brief mentionings of it. It's a half hour, it's 30 minutes, who cares? After we handed the thief to the volunteer police, we went to the theater.
Wow, this is amazing.
It was something entirely different than what I imagined a theater would look like. To start, it was incredibly spacious. Rows upon rows of seats filled an area so large that it could fit at least 1,000 people. Both sides of the hall also had the balcony seat, which sides of people were leaning out of. And if that wasn't enough, everyone was drinking and eating food. Just standing at the entrance, I could hear the jovial voices of the audience. Even though it seemed the show had already started, an actor was acting on stage.
I always thought you had to watch plays in silence, but I guess that's not always the case.
If anything, everyone's just here to relax. They pay attention to the show too, of course.
That's interesting. I get beyond to something, now that I'm used to it. This is livelier and more fun, I think.
Alright, here's the sushi set. I bought enough for everyone, so let's dig in. Yeah, perfect timing. I was just feeling hungry. Good thing we managed to get some seats. As we talked, the play continued on. An actor dressed as a courtesan was arguing with an actor playing a white-haired samurai. It seemed the white-haired samurai had feelings for her despite her being in a relationship. He was being nasty to her for rejecting him. Then the courtesan's expression twisted into one of pure distaste. He is a proud and nobleman, I think. Well, you are nothing but a bitter child. The difference is as clear as snow and ink. Compare an inkwell to the strong and wild Ramon Sea. The oceans they may be, a patron's lust could never be as deep. Though without a lover I would not see the light of day, it's clear that I should keep a fool like you away. The audience went into an uproar at the impressive insult. While it is a satisfying scene, it seemed as though the actor's popularity was adding fuel to the fire. Actor's very pretty. I can't tell he's a man at all. I'm not mistaken. That person doesn't have threads around their neck. I was curious, but more than that, I was more interested in where the story would go. Continue getting absorbed into the world of the Kabuki show. The story of that particular Kabuki show is covered in Kenji's route. The play was over in an instant. As I sat in my seat, basking in the afterglow, Tomonari quietly peered at my face. Seems like you had a good time.
Yeah, it was super interesting. My heart was racing at the end, though.
You mean when he jumped into the water? I guess that was a bit too stimulating for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anyway, let's go to the dressing room. Come on, let's get a move on.
Huh? What?
He didn't even give me a chance to say anything. Before I knew what was happening, everyone took me to the back of the theater. Of course, he was waiting there. What is it? This area's for employees only. He kind of gets aggravated easily.
It's the actor who played the courtesan. They must play the woman's Onagata roles.
He had already removed his makeup, but there was no mistake the elegant contours of his face. I was quite excited for the fact that someone I'd seen on stage just a few minutes ago was standing right in front of me. Aw, come on, don't say that. Aren't we friends, Kenji? Anyone who treats their superior with such disrespect is no friend of mine. The same goes for all of you barging in here as a group while I'm tired. Sorry about that, Kenji. You let it slide just for today. We have someone here we want you to meet. Do you mean the young miss over there? The first time the actor noticed me. There, staring right at me, was this beautiful person. My nervousness had reached a peak. I couldn't do anything but look at his neck. I couldn't see from far away when he was on stage, but I was right. This actor doesn't have threads either. He has proof that they're Oniwaban? They haven't explained any details to me, so I'm not sure. Susanoo, this is Kenji. As you saw earlier, he's working as an actor while fulfilling his duties as an Oniwaban. And Kenji, she's... It's Susanoo, right? I was able to put it together as soon as you said her name. You're the person Lord Yoshimune wishes to seek help from, aren't you? I'm not sure if I'll be able to provide much. From my past experiences, it was hard to think of myself as someone who could be of any benefit. But the truth was that I was here because the Shogun asked for me, so I couldn't fully deny his words. Kenji squinted his eyes mirthfully and leaned in closer. I hear they were going to bring someone from a faraway village, so I wondered what kind of wild child they'd bring back, but you're pretty cute.
Yeah.
Oh my, what's gotten you all flushed? He's a big old tease. Did you perhaps feel embarrassed just from being called cute? That's even more adorable.
Yeah,
Please stop messing with her, Kenji.
I'm saved.
Yeah, I want to mess with her too, but I'm holding myself back. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Otaro, you be quiet.
I'll just pretend I didn't hear what Otaro said.
Otaro is one thing, but it's a rare sight to see Tomonari caring about someone else. Right? I was pretty shocked at first, but it seems Tomonari's finally growing up. You're acting like you're his father. I wouldn't say his father, Kenji, more like his older brother. Kunitaka, shut up. No, if we're talking about Kenji, he's like the grandpa of the Oniwaban, so it wouldn't be wrong if he was acting like our parent. Otaro, did you just say something? It was a joke. You didn't hear anything. I'm sorry.
So Kenji's pretty old.
And violent. As we had our wonderful conversation, our trip to see the entertainment district drew to a close. After we said our goodbyes to Otaro and Kenji, we finally arrived at Samurai Town. Unlike Castle Town and the entertainment district, Samurai Town was a quiet residential area. There were no stores. Every once in a while, merchants selling their wares or townsfolk taking a stroll would pass by. Even they wore clothes that were unmistakably of higher quality. Ugh.
It's such a calm area. I sort of feel like I'm out of place here.
Really? Sure, there are a lot of mansions belonging to samurai and daimyo? I'm not sure how to say this word. Daimyo. I don't know. Daimyo. But most of the people who live here are all pretty normal.
Normal, but they're clearly a different social status than me.
This is our assigned area. Kuritakia and I usually do patrols and such here.
I see.
There's just as much black thread here as there was in Castletown. Seems to be more concentrated in some spots. It might even be more dangerous here. We walked down the path and then eventually arrived in front of a large mansion. Alright, we're here.
This is...
Base of operations for the Oniwaban. You're going to live here for a little while.
In this amazing mansion?
The difference between my last home and this mansion was, quite frankly, like the difference between heaven and earth. Goodness, my nose is itching me so bad.
There's probably never been a leak in that roof, though a house this big must be really hard to clean. That's a...
As I stared up in amazement at the mansion, I saw a large bird flying through the dusk sky. I wondered where it was heading off to, but then the bird unhesitatingly stopped at the tree right next to us. Good boy. Upon closer observation, there appeared to be a letter tied around the bird's leg.
Dojo, that bird is...
This eagle belongs to the captain. We can use it to communicate from far away when there's emergencies and stuff. As he explained it, Tojo opened up the letter and began looking through it.
Is it about work?
No, it's about the mansion. It says that it's already been prepared for you. Isn't that great, Susanoo? You should live pretty comfortably for a while.
Thank you so much for everything.
I had already known in the back of my mind, but none of this could have happened without so many people's help. Now I understood that even more. My chest felt full of emotion. Afterwards, Tominari and Tojo gave me a tour around the mansion. It was my first time even entering a samurai mansion, but I never imagined a toilet and bath could be indoors, so that was quite the surprise.
Rich people are unbelievable. They even have an indoor bathroom specifically for guests.
And this was the last room they took me to. Apparently you can use this room as your own. The closet next to it has blankets and clothing, so feel free to use whatever you'd like.
Yes, thank you very much.
Alright then, rest up. I guess I'll head out too.
Wait a second.
I hurriedly ran over to Tominari, who was about to leave after Tojo.
You're going? Y'all don't live here?
No, everyone has a civilian identity, so we all live in separate places. We do stay here on occasion, though.
Now that he mentions it, the mansion doesn't feel lived in at all. I see.
Wait, are you feeling lonely?
Nah.
Lonely? That was exactly how I felt. Up until this point, I've been traveling with Tominari and the others for the entire journey. There was something painful about being left alone in such a large mansion after spending so much time with others.
If I say something as childish as that, I'll only be causing trouble. Not to mention, I'd feel contrite. It's fine, just forget about.
Hey, stop making her upset. We plan on spending the night here, remember? Let's hurry and prepare our beds. Tojo, who I thought had left earlier, popped his head in. It seemed he had been listening in on our conversation. What's up with you? Stop making that face. What? I've been thinking about this for a while, but Tominari's pretty indifferent about people other than me. Anyway, I'll be in the next room if anything happens. Call for me immediately, okay?
Okay, thank you. Whew.
After I was alone, I quietly let out a sigh of relief. Even while I was in the room, I could hear the voices of Tominari and Tojo through the doors, so I didn't feel lonely at all. Those voices gave me the same sense of security from when we were staying at the resting stations.
We walked around so much today, I'm exhausted.
Then I met so many wonderful people. Kuga, Yoichi, Yotaro, Kenji. And tomorrow I'll meet Lord Yoshimune. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with this power, but I'll do the very best that I can. With determination in my chest, I began my preparations for sleep. The next day, Tominari and Tojo immediately escorted me to Chiyoda Castle. Finally, I would have an audience with the shogun, Yoshimune, I can talk, Tokugawa. Name. Listen, be mindful of your manners. Normally, even samurai have to become shogunate retainers before they're allowed to meet Lord Yoshimune. Now, you're about to experience is that important.
Right. I have to make sure that I'm not rude to Lord Yoshimune. There are different rules of etiquette even when we're greeting someone, right? So after I enter, I have to bow first? No, I have to sit first? Wait a second, they taught me so much just this morning and now I can't remember a single thing.
Susanoo,
Nah, what?
are you nervous?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, we're talking about meeting the Lord Yoshimune. If I accidentally say something rude, that would be an absolute nightmare. You might even tell me to cut my own stuff open and stuff.
Calm down. You're just going to listen to him talk. There's just no way that could happen. Look, let you dead Kunitaka. Hey, don't slander me like that. I was only saying things that should be common sense. At that point in our conversation, both Tominari and Tojo stopped walking. For us to get grand pair of sliding doors. As if to confirm with me first, Tojo looked me in the eyes before he called out to whoever was behind the doors. My lord, I've brought with me the girl in question. So you arrived, enter.
Nah.
There's no longer any time to chat. Waiting beyond those sliding doors was the shogun of our time. An otherworldly silence spread across the space past the sliding doors. On the Chitone, right in front of us, was the one and only Lord Yoshimune. That's just the name for the fancy sitting place that they sit on. Now the members of the Oniwaban I meet thus far were lined up at his side. There were about 3 people that I didn't recognize, but I couldn't observe too closely. Of course I couldn't. Lord Yoshimune was right in front of me. I entered about halfway into the room and knelt down in front of Lord Yoshimune, bowing my head. I waited for Lord Yoshimune's words, so nervous that I could feel my heart in my throat. Girl, raise your head. This is Lord Yoshimune. I commend you on your long journey. I am Yoshimune Tokugawa, the 8th shogun of the Edo shogunate. Oh my god. It was none other than I who summoned you here today.
It's very nice to meet you. My name is Susanoo.
Hey, dumb thing. It's a great honor to be here. I got fiddly fingers. I'm holding the Joy-Con and accidentally did that.
Don't mind me.
After the greetings, I lowered my head with as much gusto as I could.
This is the correct etiquette, right?
Wait, was this really what I was supposed to do? My mind's all blank. I don't know what I'm doing. There's no need to be so tense. It's not as if you're on trial in front of the magistrate. Also, I do not wish for my inner circle to be so strict with titles. Call me Yoshimune from now on.
Yes, Lord Yoshimune.
Good. Kunitaka, Tominari, well done on completing the mission. You may rest up. I can't do a simultaneous voice. Yes. As far as I can tell, Lord Yoshimune's threads remained a pure green. Green is the color that represents calmness. This is probably the first time I've ever seen such a clear green. He's the current shogun, so he must think completely differently from ordinary people. Now then, Susanoo. Now that we've finished our greetings, let me explain why I've called you here.
Yes.
I believe you already encountered it at your hometown. You remember the monster created from the black thread?
Yes, I remember.
That thing's called a Blightfall. Lightfall are drawn to negative emotions. They're calamities that appear at nightfall. I'm sorry, just Lightfall and Nightfall rhyming is just stupid to me. Whatever. They can be created from humans' malice. Even humans themselves can turn into Blightfall. As such, they often appear in places with many people. There are ones that disappear come sunrise. The powerful ones do not disappear until they are exterminated. In order to exercise them, one needs to destroy the mask on their head, which is their weakness. Generally. However, the only ones that can accomplish this are those such as the Oniwaban, and those like you who possess the power of the Hakuseki clan. So, she's a descendant of the Hakuseki. Her mom was a descendant of the Hakuseki. Her mom's the only one who broke tradition and left the Hakuseki. That makes them kind of unique. The ones who are gathered here today are part of the Oniwaban secret team, who specialize in exterminating Blightfall. With that, Lord Yoshimune slowly looked at the people around us. I feel their attention on me. I was so nervous I could hardly take my eyes off of Lord Yoshimune. I will cut to the chase. I want to invite you to join the Oniwaban as a member of the secret team. Though you are a woman, if you are a member of the secret Oniwaban, I promise you will be treated no different than a samurai. That being said, I don't believe much will change for you publicly, but we need the power that you wield.
A member of the Oniwaban, I see. So that's why I was allowed to meet with Lord Yoshimune in person. Now that I think about it, earlier he mentioned his inner circle. I guess it was decided from the start I would join the Oniwaban.
This should be a fair suggestion for you as well. What do you say?
Thank you. If I can help someone with my power, even just a little, then I'll do my very best to fulfill my duty.
Thinking back on things, Tomonari and Tojo had said this was something I'd partially suspected would happen. Fighting against those monsters would be terrifying, and I didn't know how helpful I could be, but I come all this way. I wanted to do the best I could. Yes, I'm pleased to hear that answer. Now then, since we've finished our discussions, I'll answer any questions you may have. Now we are friends. You can talk freely. No need to hold back.
Yes, thank you very much. Oh yeah, you mentioned something earlier I'd never heard of before. So just what exactly is the Hakuseki clan? Lord Yoshimune, I believe you mentioned it earlier, that I'm someone with the power of the Hakuseki clan. This is the first time I've heard that term.
I see. I should have explained. Very well. In the past, before the Oniwaban, there were people who made a living out of exterminating Blackfall. That was the Hakuseki clan. The full truth of the Hakuseki clan doesn't get revealed until the last route, Odora's route. Let's just say it's their fault that there's Blightfall. That's the surmise of it. Rumors say they had special powers and were able to predict when and where Blightfall would appear, as well as exercise them. For good reason. It's the only spoiler I'll give, just because it's so frustrating throughout the whole thing that they're like, oh, the Hakuseki were da-da-da. They were not great. It was their fault that there was Blightfall. That's why they got rid of them. But, you know, whatever. Perhaps in order to lure the attention of the Blightfall, members of the clan all had skin as white as ivory and hair as white as silk. Honestly, a lot of them look kind of like Tomonari looks, as bizarre as that is. And all of them were able to see threads that were unseen to the normal eye.
What?
He had used such a familiar word out of nowhere that I couldn't help my surprise. That very moment I'd been staring at Lord Yoshimune's threads while listening to him. Those who had the blood of the Hakuseki clan could see these threads wrapped around humans and form folk alike. For the color imbued in the threads, they could also read the emotions and nature of others.
That's the same as me.
Yes, as you suspect, you are a descendant of the Hakuseki clan. Perhaps because the blood has been diluted, you do not possess the physical traits. There is no mistake. You have the same power. It technically has nothing to do with the blood being diluted, but it's too complicated to explain It's also explained in the last route. And I'll just let the special beings do the explanationing, because even I don't completely understand what the heck the big deal is with everything. And I've completed the game, and I'm like, what? So, when I read it again, hopefully some part of it actually clicks in my brain. If it don't be surprised. You'll be like me, completely confused and go, I'm just gonna accept the fact that she can do it, whatever. And I heard from your father, from Munanori.
Wait a second.
What's wrong?
How do you know my father's name? Do you know my father?
Of course, I visited your hometown once. On that occasion, I chanced upon Munanori. Yeah, chanced upon him.
Sure. Excuses.
He was looking for the clan. Liar. As of that, I've known of you for a while, but our respect for him kept you out of the battle against the Blightfall. However, they have been more active as of late. We can no longer afford to keep our guard down. At Yoshimune's explanation, questions I've been asking myself for days had started to unravel. It now made perfect sense how they're able to find me, even though I was living deep in the mountains.
But why didn't father ever tell me about meeting you, or about the Hakuseki clan? Was my father a member of the Hakuseki clan? He didn't have the ability to see threads, and he looked like an ordinary person.
No, it was your mother who was the member of the Hakuseki clan. That's what I heard from Munanori as well. Your mother was a woman with incredibly beautiful, pure white skin and hair.
My mother.
Were you not aware of that either?
No.
Frankly, I didn't have any memories of my mother. According to my father, she died when I was still a baby. Whatever. I asked about her a few times, but father spoke fondly only about how she was a kind and amazing person, and he also told me her name. I didn't even know where her grave was, so I never would have thought that my mother was from the Hakuseki clan. Munanori must have had his own ideas. Above all else, he wanted you to be safe and out of harm.
Right. That's right. Life in that village was hard, but for better or worse, I was safe. Then where are the other members of the Hakuseki clan? Are they part of the Oniwaban?
Unfortunately, there aren't any.
What?
Everyone except you has already died. The broken down village you were living in until recently was what used to be the clan's final settlement. And I assume you were the only one living there, yes? It's possible that one of the mixed blood like you could be living and hiding somewhere, but we have not been able to confirm it.
Oh no.
I couldn't react properly to the surprise that he so casually dropped. So in the truest sense of the word, I was all alone. Now that if you have any other questions, I'll be sure to answer them.
No, I don't have any.
My voice squeaked out from the anxiety. I somehow managed to answer him. And that settles our discussion. I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor.
Yes, thank you very much.
Right. You may leave. I bowed my head once more and slowly stood up. In doing so, the members of the Oniwaban entered my field of vision. Huh. So the last three are the leaders of the individual groups. I'm pretty sure we only meet them as we go into the groups outside of a brief conversation. For a moment, I felt that something was out of place. I failed to notice earlier during my conversation with Lord Yoshimune, but there were clearly some unusual members in the Oniwaban.
Forgive me, Lord Yoshimune. May I ask one more question?
I do not mind. Ask away.
As you know, I can see people's emotions as threads. It doesn't matter if they're human or farm folk.
That's right. Is there something wrong?
To tell the truth, in the Oniwaban, there are people whose threads I can see, and others that I can't. At first I thought I couldn't see them because they're Oniwaban. But I see now that there are people here with threads, so...
No, which ones?
Huh?
Who here right now has threads? You not know their names, you may point at them. The atmosphere changed in an instant. Lord Yoshimune had been so calm earlier in Oniwaban, as silent statues were all staring daggers at me. This is where they're going to finally get to the point of explaining the thing with the threads. Outside of the two members that she can see the threads on, the rest of them are not allowed to have threads, basically. Or it means that they have to die. It was almost as if they were trying to test something. Nervous for the sudden turn of events, I quietly pointed with my finger. This person and this person. The room felt even more awkward than before. I was unsure if I should speak out. I might have even said something offensive, but I didn't know what to do and waited nervously for an answer. Then... I see. Splendid.
Lord Yoshimune?
No, I apologize. It's not that I doubted you, but I just couldn't help but marvel at your powers.
Boy.
Susanoo, the answer to your question is simple. If you can see the threads, that means that person has a heart that can produce emotions. In other words, if you cannot see someone's threads, then that means they don't have a heart.
What do you mean?
Those without threads are neither human nor form folk. They are called vessels. Tools created for the sole purpose of destroying the Blightfall. I couldn't help but stare, eyes wide, at the revelation. After the meeting, Oniwaban took me back to the base. So, brief explanation of vessels. They have had their memories of the item they were formed from sealed, and their hearts sealed. At least, ideally, they have. Two of them, you'll later on find out, do not. One of them, the memory thing didn't work, and one of them is a complete lying butthole. Waiting for me there were the three members I'd never met before. Let's introduce ourselves formally. My name is Kiyoshiro Kawamura. I am the captain of the Oniwaban and have been tasked with governing the samurai town. He is the most emotionless one. I don't even know if he knows how to show emotions, honestly. But apparently he's always been like that. I've told those in the Oniwaban to call me by my first name. You may do so as well.
I see. Nice to meet you.
This man here is the one in charge of Castle Town, Mitsushige Miyashi. Susanoo, it's nice to meet you. I'm sure it's a lot to take in, but I look forward to working with you. We're counting on your power. And this here is the coordinator of the entertainment district, Kiyohiko Yabuda. I can introduce myself, you know. I suppose. Hey, Susanoo, right? To be frank, I have no interest in being friends. So this one acts like a complete jerk all the time, but he cares in his own stupid way. Only thing I expect from you is that you do your job as we say.
Yes, I'll do my best.
There's one thing I learned from these self-introductions, is that all three of them seem pretty unique. Luckily, both Miyashi and Yabuda, whose threads were visible, seemed like very straightforward people. Most of them have emotions that match up with what they say. I'm grateful even for just that. Come on, Kiyohiko. Don't say things like that. She's fresh from the countryside. You have to just treat her nicer. I don't care. That's not part of my job. Yoshiro, can you talk some sense into him? She came all the way out to Edo. I don't want to see her treated like this. There's no need for that. Both of you are in the right. How one treats others should be up to their own discretion. Jeez. If that isn't the most vessel-like part of your whole personality. Oh, that's just his personality, sadly to say. Huh. Vessel. I was blatantly listening to their conversation. I couldn't help but be sensitive to that word. He's right. There are no threads around Kiyoshiro's neck. He's a vessel. That moment, Kiyoshiro stared at me with a sharp gaze. What are you looking at?
I'm sorry, I couldn't help but...
Are you maybe curious about vessels? Kyoshiro's the only one here. They look just like regular people, but they're neither human nor fun folk. Hard to wrap your head around it, right?
Yes, honestly, I'm still rather confused.
Alright, so this is a good opportunity. I'll teach you about the vessels before we start discussing the matter at hand. After enthusiastically slapping his knee, Miyashi proudly leaned forward. Listen up. Vessels are like form folk in that they're born with a tool. When a tool obtains a soul. During their birth, they receive treatment from the shogunate's resident soothsayer and are modified to be able to fight against the Blightfall. Ow, no. I'm itching my nose, you stupid thing. It's why they use the snow sacrament, the power to exercise the Blightfall. It's also why their hearts and memories from before they were a vessel are sealed.
Why do they seal away their hearts and memories from before they became a vessel?
As you know, Blightfall are monsters created from negative emotions. They often use mind pollution to increase their numbers or to disable enemies. Mind pollution. So if you bear any negative emotions or have a heart that can react to them, you'll be vulnerable to a Blightfall's attack.
Then the seal on their memories is...
to reinforce the seal on their hearts. If vessels remembered who used them before they became a vessel, the life their master led, and their own thoughts and desires... if they remember the experiences they had when they had a heart, it could end up breaking their seal too. It actually can be proven not true in one of the roots, as one of them does have their memories. And as far as I could tell, even in the good ending, the seal was still present on their heart, though it was possible it could break in the future, I guess. Not that it mattered. In truth, there have been many examples of a vessel regaining the memories and then their heart only to turn into Blightfall in the process. So vessels aren't allowed to have a heart or memories of their past.
And if the members of the Oniwaban gets their hearts and memories back?
We'd execute them, of course. There's not telling if they'd become an enemy. Told you this one's a jerk.
No way!
And he's a big old fat liar, too. He keeps stuff to himself whenever it comes to the ones he cares about. What, you have a problem with that?
No, nothing. But then they really are like tools. They finally get the chance to be born in this world, only to be killed if they get their hearts back. Don't the vessels ever feel dissatisfied with that? No, perhaps they don't even have those kinds of thoughts in the first place. Thinking in that way made me terribly sad.
That's why we humans aren't suited for fighting against the Blightfall. Not only do we have hearts, we can't even use the Soul Sacrament. And top it off, when humans become Blightfall, they can camouflage as a human and continue living among us. It's troublesome. Of course, we're receiving training as part of the Oniwaban, but anyway, we can leave most of the combat to the vessels. So from here on out, you'll be going on missions as support for the vessels.
I see.
But hearing that, I relaxed a little. I didn't think I could fight in the same way that I saw them fight at the village. I was surprised to hear that they were created. Well, I understand. Vessels are pretty similar to form folk, aren't they?
Wait, I don't think anyone had a wooden tablet.
Vessels don't possess a tablet. In return, there's a mark carved somewhere on their body. Like this one. They're saying that Kyoshiro roughly pushed back the sleeve of his kimono. Near his elbow, there's a mark that stood out on his skin, resembling a scar. There's just one mistake in your understanding. Vessels are not similar to form folk. Rather, something in between form folk and humans. Naturally, we die if the tool that formed us is destroyed. But we'll also die if we receive a fatal injury. Unlike form folk, our bodies are human. However, in exchange, we possess the power to destroy Blightfall. Never forget this. No matter how much we may look and act like humans or form folk, we vessels are nothing more than tools created for a single purpose. As long as you remember that, there won't be any problems on your missions. I could only nod at Kyoshiro's words. From his explanation, it was clear that vessels were necessary in an Edo filled with Blightfall. It might even be wrong to feel sad for them. Now, since we're done talking, we'll discuss the main topic at hand. Let's decide what area you'll handle, Susan O.
Samurai Town, Castle Town, or Entertainment District. You mean I'll be working in one of those places?
That's right. The entirety of Edo would obviously be too much ground to cover. We're letting you choose which area will be your jurisdiction.
What? Right now?
That being said, it'll be difficult to decide without any background information. I'll give a simple explanation for each area.
Boy, it's not that simple.
Yoshiro took out a map of Edo and placed it on a tatami mat. First, he pointed at the left, the west side. This is the samurai town I'm in charge of. It mostly consists of houses belonging to samurai families, such as daimyo and retainer mansions. You stayed the night here, so I'm sure you're already aware. But it's a quiet and calm environment.
It sure was.
Makes sense. The citizens there are all high and mighty, just like you. So as for why the environment is like that, he's ignoring Yabuda's jab at him. One of the reasons is that usually people outside of samurai families are prohibited from entering the district. In addition, there aren't any stores, so each house sends their servants out to shop, or conversely, they call the merchants over there. So each household has a closed social network. It's a peaceful place, but
is there some sort of problem?
Considering the type of people who live here, shady political conflicts are the norm. This sort of insidiousness is something other districts lack. Thus, it's easy for powerful Blightfall to appear, though they don't appear very often. By nature of its locality, the district has its own set of difficulties.
Now that I think about it, the black threads I saw in Samurai Town were concentrated in one spot, so that's why.
In comparison, Castletown to the north is pretty average in terms of Blightfall appearances and strength. I think it'd be fairly easy to handle. The residents are mostly commoners, aside from the row houses where they live. There are shops and restaurants too. It's pretty lively, though not as much as the entertainment district. You probably have a lot of fun there.
That's true. Compared to the Samurai Town and the Entertainment District, this town seems less dangerous. It could definitely be easier to handle.
Miyagi acting airheaded as usual. What does it matter if an assignment is fun or not? I mean, if you're going to be spending all your time there, it's better if it's somewhere where you're comfortable, right? What's most important for an assignment is if it's worth it or not.
If it's worth it or not?
Exactly. The entertainment district I'm in charge of is the most troublesome place in all of Edo. It's a place that exists for the entertainment of the people. It's also where the idiots horse around all day and night, which tends to cause conflicts. So not only do we have the most Blightful appearances, our Blightful are all quite troublesome ones. To put it frankly, it's not a place suited for novices whatsoever. On the other hand, it's also the area that needs your special power the most. After saying all that in one go, Yabuda suddenly scrunched up his face, closed his mouth tightly. Seeing that sort of treatment so suddenly made me feel uneasy.
Is something the matter?
Why am I in charge of such a troublesome place?
Huh?
The entertainment district is loud. Everyone there is scum. It's awful. I demand an immediate transfer. And there he goes again.
Nah, what was that about an assignment being worth it?
His lordship assigned you to the entertainment district because he deemed you to be the best fit. He praised your work. That's right, Kiyohiko. We wouldn't be able to handle the entertainment district. That's why it was left in your more than capable hands. Lord Yoshimune was praising me? Is that true? Why would I lie? Yeah, you can always trust the words of a vessel, right? No. Well, of course, I'm much more capable than any of you lot. The entertainment district is a piece of cake. Who needs a transfer? So I think besides Kyoshiro, it is quite possible that the other vessels could easily end up lying about stupid shit, but I do like the fact that they think that they can't lie. Yeah, man, you're really simple. I mean, you're really honest. That's what I like about you. Yeah, that's it. Kiyohiko, is that all you need to explain to her? Wait, there's one more thing. The entertainment district has the best alcohol in all of Edo.
I see.
As you remembering the taste of the alcohol, Yuba's threads were contrary to his self-expression. A happy orange. That's it for the explanations. Have you decided which district you want to oversee? Right. The 3 explanations. I knew each district had its own unique traits, but that didn't mean I could answer the question so soon. I've just arrived in Edo. I can't imagine myself doing work. It doesn't seem like you've decided yet. Not yet. I'm sorry. I don't understand. What's there to be so concerned about? They seemed to get the message from my reaction. The 3 of them looked at each other with troubled expressions. I got it. How about you choose the person doing the assignments with you? Nah. You seem awfully confident she'll pick you. That's not what I meant. We're not the only ones who work on assignments with her, right? The Vestals will also tag along. You'll have to think about your compatibility with them, too. That'd be a good to use that to make your decision. Oh, I see. Thinking about it that way might make it easier to decide. I get along with all my companions, but if our personalities clashed and they hated me, it might have an effect on the mission. No matter how careful you are in your interactions, miscommunication can always happen. I understood that fact all too well. But aside from Tominari and Tojo, I've only just been introduced to everyone. I wish I could talk to everyone a bit more. If that's the case, you could spend the day talking to the vessels. Just be sure to give your answer today.
Thank you very much.
And so, I immediately left the mansion in order to talk to the members of the Oniwaban. Yoshiro told me that the Samurai Town team would be working at the base. Since we traveled to Edo together, I felt closer to them than the others in Oniwaban, but I decided to talk with them once more. Where should I go? Let's go ahead and talk to these 2 guys, and then next time we'll talk to the other 4. So start with the study. It really don't matter what order we do this in. I gotta talk to all of them. This is... Wandering around the base, I discovered a place that looked like a study. It seemed that this was an archive used specifically by the Oniwaban.
Maybe they're working here?
While thinking that, I peeked into the back of the room. Suzuno? I was met with Tominari, who was researching something whilst buried in documents. When he noticed my arrival, he cheerily smiled and gestured for me to come over with his hand. I really like this part of Tominari's personality. I've already heard about the situation, so have you decided which district you want to be assigned to? The truth is, I'm still not sure. I asked them to wait until tonight for my answer. I see. Well, how about Samurai Town?
Huh?
Kurisaka and I are assigned to Samurai Town. Since we'd be in the same district, we could help you out immediately. Besides, wouldn't it be easier for you to work in an environment with someone you're used to? And we can spend more time together, too. His overly forward demeanor made my face go beet red.
Tominari always sounds so casual. I can't tell if he's serious or joking. So should I really be in charge of the same district as Tominari? It's true that he's the closest person to me in the Oniwaban, but... Thanks for asking me, but could you give me just a little while?
Why?
They gave me all this time, so I want to use it to ask others for their opinions. Each district seems to be different in its own way, too.
I understand. It makes it easier for you. I could tell you about my past assignments.
Could you?
Of course. Except, in summertime, basically only have patrols. And I'm always with Kunitaka. The only time I participated in a special assignment was when I went to get you.
Huh, really?
Yeah, I woke up as a vessel about a year ago, so I'm still considered a newbie among the Oniwaban.
Oh, I see.
I found that easy to believe. In fact, when I saw the Oniwaban interacting, Tominari felt distant from them, almost strangely silent. Maybe because he himself couldn't quite grasp what separated him from the rest of the Oniwaban. That's why I think I understand you the most. There's a lot of difficulties when you're new, so I think you'll have an easier time with me. So, I also recommend Samurai Town.
Yeah.
What an amazing pitch. Considering how much trouble I've had with relationships in the past, I was intensely swayed. Tamari looked at me and, as he remembered something, took an item from his Netsuki charm. I fear you already heard about vessels are formed. You've never actually seen a tool, right? This is the tool that I was born from. It has a beautifully maintained Inro case. The base was glassy bronze, with gold and scarlet flower patterns drawn over it. It seemed to have been broken in the past, as it could faintly make out marks that looked like repaired cracks. I feel like I've seen this case before. What's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing's wrong. It's a common enough pattern, so maybe I'm mistaken?
Is this alright to show me something as important as that? Isn't this a vessel's weakness? I know, but I figured it's alright if it's you. But I don't think you should ask others to show you theirs. Even I don't know what the tools the others were born from. You find out in each of the roots.
Alright, I'll be careful.
In other words, just as humans had human etiquette, same vessels had their own set of rules. They may look like us. Those rules were something I definitely wanted to keep in mind.
Speaking of, Tominari, do you not remember anything from before you became a vessel?
No, nothing.
So you don't know how this Inru case got in the hands of the shogunate either.
That's right. Typically people give them to the shogunate, or the shogunate buys them on the market. That's probably how they got my Inru case too.
I see.
No, he knew nothing about his past. Tominari looked completely unfazed. Like Miyaji explained earlier, Ryasi didn't think about it because his heart, and very aptly to doubt, and variability, I can read. Variability to doubt had been sealed away. Felt a faint loneliness at how Tominari could talk about himself in such a detached way. This is about as much as I can say. Did it help?
Yes, more than enough. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tominari then gave me his usual calming smile. However, interacting with someone so kind, it raised a question in my mind.
Hey, I've been wondering about this, but why do you care so much about me?
You even invited me to join you and showed me the tool you were born from. A vessel wouldn't do those kind of things normally, right? I don't know about the other vessels, but I did it because I wanted to. Just wanted to.
Is it like an instinct?
I'm not sure. This is the first time this has happened, so I don't really know. Maybe I want to be with you because I want to understand this feeling. Have you ever thought that way before, Susanoo?
That's...
You stared at me with crystal clear eyes. I couldn't help but feel flustered. There's a part of me that couldn't fully deny Tominari's words, but I suppose that's got nothing to do with the matter at hand. You should choose whatever district you'd prefer to be assigned to.
What?
You're the person who's deciding, not me. I respect your decision, whatever it is. I hope you work in a good location.
Right, thanks.
What's this sense of unease I'm feeling? Just when I thought he was asking something of me, it was almost like there was this wall. Almost like he was putting distance between us.
Is this what a vessel is like?
Pretty much. I said my goodbyes to Tominari and left the study. He says that, but in like every route. Anytime he interacts with her, if he thinks that someone's being a butt, he makes a point to give them stink eye. Like, ugh. Sometimes it's kind of hilarious the amount of "how dare you" he gets. After that, I walked around the base alone. There should be one more person in the base. Where should I go? I don't know even why it asks you, Miranda.
What was over here again?
I tried to walk around, relying on my memory, and ended up in the veranda at the very back of the mansion. I hadn't noticed when I looked around yesterday, but the garden seemed well looked after. Wow, what a pretty garden. Sunbathing here would feel amazing. Oh, it's just you, Susanoo. As I continued to stare out at the veranda, Kiyotaka called out to me from behind. It seemed he had heard my voice and come out of the room. Did you finish talking with the captains?
Yes, it's just I'm still considering where my assignment should be.
I see. Well, it's not easy to make such an important decision so suddenly. Alright, in that case, Big Bro Kunitaka will help you out. Sit over here, Susanoo. Tojo sat down at the veranda and patted the ground next to him with his hand.
Right.
I copied him and almost immediately sat down in the spot he designated. So what part of all this is troubling you?
I'm not sure which district's right for me just from listening to explanations. I do know which area has the strongest lightfall or where they appear the most, but
In other words, it's difficult to picture yourself actually working, so you can't decide.
yes, that could be part of it.
In that case, just leave it to me. If it's about missions in Samurai Town, I should be more than capable of telling you whatever you need to know. That being said, Samurai Town's the same as any other district. All we do is collect intel and exterminate any Blightfall that appear. But as you might have heard from the captain, it's full of samurai families here, so collecting information can be pretty troublesome. For starters, you can't even talk to the people in the powerful samurai family unless they like you. So if you end up being in charge of Samurai Town, you have to start from learning basic etiquette.
I see.
Oh, you think you could do it?
To be honest, I'm a little nervous. I don't know the first thing about samurai etiquette.
Oh, everyone starts out that way. But don't worry, if you join our team, I'll take responsibility and look after you.
He's so reliable.
I had this impression for a while, but Tojo was always optimistic and kind, no matter the situation. Even when Tomonari did what he wanted and acted aloof, despite his complaints, Tojo still accepted him for who he was. He really was a good mentor. Maybe I'll feel less worried if I go on assignments with someone like this.
Jeep! What's that?
In that moment, a small shadow flew out from the back of the room. The shadow skillfully hopped around as it came in front of me and...
Jeep, jeep!
It playfully spread its two wings like it was greeting me.
Sparrow? Jeep.
By the way, the Japanese for
It goes chirpy.
it's so adorable. The sparrow seemed awfully used to people and rubbed its cheek against my hand, which was resting limply on the ground. Even now I could see the threads of an animal. But even so, it's obvious the sparrow was pretty friendly. I was even able to feel its soft feathers, which made me feel incredibly fortunate.
It feels so soft and it's super cute.
Kamame, why did you come out? I told you that the outside is dangerous.
Cheep, cheep.
Tojo extended his hand. The sparrow flapped its wings and used them to elegantly dodge him. When did you learn how to move like that? Then I'll circle around. Not to be outdone, Tojo reached his hand out in the direction the sparrow was moving, but...
Cheep.
What? You're reading my movements?
Cheep, cheep, cheep.
Alright. I get it. You could stay. Don't go out into the garden.
Cheep.
Tojo gave up and put down his hand, and the sparrow calmed down immediately.
That was an amazing exchange. Does it understand what we're saying?
Jeez. You're as aggressive as usual.
Is this bird your pet, Tojo?
Yeah, well, in a way. Her name is Kamame. I found her about a month ago with an injury. I've been taking care of her since. The injury itself is fully healed, but for some reason, she still can't fly. So I have no choice but to look after her.
Ah, so that's why she's hopping around.
She seemed perfectly fine. It'd be difficult to live in the wild if she couldn't fly. Think about it in that way.
Couldn't help but feel sorry for precious Kamame. There, there. Good girl. Cheep.
I patted her head with my fingertips, and Kamame narrowed her eyes in satisfaction. Not only that, she nuzzled her forehead against me as if to reciprocate.
She's so adorable. She's too cute.
Enjoying yourself?
I'm sorry. You must want to touch her too.
Don't worry about me. She doesn't like me at all.
That's not true. So you were having fun playing around just now.
That wasn't playing. That was her doing her best to avoid me. What's this? Alright, Kamame. Come nuzzle me just how you're.
Cheep, cheep.
Hey, where are you going?
She definitely doesn't like him.
And then, after losing his chase against Kamame, Tojo lay face down in the hallway with a disappointed expression. I'm starting to think she'll never like me.
It's just a coincidence. Please don't be so upset.
I'm not upset or anything.
Yeah, he's totally upset. But I wonder why. It's kind of cute.
Tojo gave off the impression of a reliable older brother, but I never expected that he would have a side like this. No, he's a vessel. He could just be acting out this kind of personality. I guess I better head off.
Cheap. Come on, mate. I'm going to leave now, okay? Cheap, cheap. What?
Instead of leaving, Kamame jumped onto my shoulder, all flapping and spreading her wings as if to proclaim that we were inseparable. It didn't look like she was going to leave me anytime soon.
Tojo?
Huh. Seems like she's really taking a shine to you. Why don't you go ahead and become Kamame's owner?
What? But you're the one who's been taking care of Kamame, right?
Yeah, but you just read Netto, so wouldn't it be better if you had someone to talk to? Besides, even if I told her to stay, she wouldn't listen to me. I just love that stare of like, ugh. Kamame, do you hate me?
Cheap. Kamame, you shouldn't chirp there.
See?
Poor Tojo. I understand. I'll take on the responsibility of raising Kamame.
And so, I had now officially became the owner of a pet sparrow. Oh, Kamame.
She's such a rude little butthole. Alright, I successfully talked with Tominari and Tojo.
That's where we'll pick up next time. And we'll go talk to, let's see. Can't remember I don't remember which area is what, but it'll be Kuga and Yoichi. And then the last two is Kenji and Otaro. And then finally we will choose our first route, which will be Tojo. Woo! Alright. I am gonna go drink a bunch of water and rest my throat. Thank you so much for watching. I ended up streaming a bit longer than I planned. Mainly due to wanting to at least make progress. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and bye!